Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. Across from me is my co-host, Troy Brittingham.
We finally found where the record button was. We've been just recording in this empty room.
It's been 83 years.
We talked all sorts. We did some of our best episodes, but none of them are recorded.
Yes. D is with us today.
I came in and they were just talking away, thinking they were recording. And I'm like, guys, what do you answer your phones?
Yeah,
Just-
what the fuck?
Just reaches over, clicks the record button.
Yeah, it honestly didn't say a word, just looked at us condescendingly, hit the record button, sat down, and put on his own headphones.
Here we are.
And here we are. Thank you so much, D, for breaking us out of this loop.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. We watched Sinners. Came out this year, April 18th. We're a little late to the game, but it comes out on HBO Max this weekend, so we can pretend that's why we're doing it.
Well, that's why I was doing it.
Right, totally. Yeah. Theme song. TB&J! Oh, it sounds so good, but also so bad. TB&J! I gotta get John to re-record this. TB&J! TB&J!
I love our theme song.
That Mountain Dew hits the spot, you guys. All right, so Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler and starring Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld.
And Michael B. Jordan.
And Michael B. Jordan. So, if you're new around here, first thing we do when we review a product is give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, because everything on the internet is good or bad. There is no shade of gray. So, Troy, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up. So far, this is my favorite movie this year.
Really? And you watch a lot of movies, even though we don't talk about them.
I know. Yeah.
D, how we feeling?
Thumbs up. I think it should probably win the awards this year.
I am also very, very, very
like,
thumbs up.
I don't love this movie. I'm not like, I need to fucking see this movie again. I'm watching it. I'm like super psyched about it. I'm just like, oh, yeah, this should win.
I
And that's how I know it might, because I'm just like, oh wow,
Those
right.
are the movies that
This
win.
is a movie that did things that other movies maybe didn't do or could have done but didn't.
could have or maybe didn't. I'm thumbs up. I did enjoy this movie. I did purchase this movie through the Xbox store, and after I was done, I was like, maybe I should have saved $5 and rented it instead. I don't know that I'm ever gonna watch this again, but I did enjoy it.
What did you watch it on, D?
I think I just if I ran it through Vudu or something like that.
Yeah, I was wondering because I did theaters in IMAX, so I'm wondering if I have an elevated feeling of it because it felt like a big event.
Maybe I bet that could be the case. It's got a great. I mean, it does everything right. It's got a great soundtrack, a cast, great
Soundtrack's
great,
fucking killer. Personal favorite.
Setting, the music. I mean, like just the kind of the vibe of it, the whole, eras, bootleggers and just the whole vibe of that.
Back when there were vampires.
Yeah, back in the vampire days. Now, it gave me a lot of From Dusk Till Dawn portions,
Yes.
but without any of the goofiness.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no fourth wall breaking kind of goofiness to it.
No, it's a very 100%
Or
serious
campiness.
movie.
There's
No
camp.
Quentin Tarantino sucking on a toe.
Yeah.
But there's some
no-
gross sex stuff actually in this, but
No, yeah, right. No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
there's
you're
some
right.
great stuff. Well, there's some serious sex stuff in this.
Yep.
It's great. It's good sex stuff.
Well, Troy was referring to Haley Steinfeld drooling into Michael B. Jordan's mouth,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
both
Everything
being
else-
Yeah, I forgot
the
about that. That was
sex and-
hot. That was hot.
the sex in general, not a problem for me. That
Um,
one was.
To be fair, I think here was a problem with my viewing of this is
Okay.
that I think I watched the beginning of it one night and I was enjoying it, but we were tired, fell asleep, and then the rest of it I think I watched through my phone, on the thing. So
Wow.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was Haley Steinfeld.
That's so funny. I clocked her immediately.
So is she actually whatever they were saying she was?
Yes, she is. I think her dad or her grandfather is Jamaican. I believe that was a thing that was going around. But yes, it is a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that
Yeah,
she is
yeah.
engaged to Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen,
That's not what we asked.
and she is also the brand new Hawkeye. Not brand new anymore, but she is Hawkeye in
Brand
the
spanking
MCU.
new.
It's no longer Mr. Jeremy Renner. I know also, Troy, just to rub some salt in it, she's also younger than us.
Yep.
By about a year and a month.
Yep.
Yeah. And what the fuck are we doing with our lives, man?
Well, we're doing a prestigious podcast.
Oh, Wikipedia says her spouse is Josh Allen. They got married this year. I guess I didn't know that. But yeah, so
Allen.
that's Mrs. Josh Allen to you guys.
Spouse Allen.
Yeah. Josh Allen is a freak of an athlete. It's a shame he's never going to win a ring because of Patrick fucking Mahomes. Anyway, so this movie focuses on Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan playing two twins and also World War I veterans named Smoke and Stack.
Smoke and Stack.
The Smokestack twins.
One is red and one is blue.
Honestly, yeah, and I loved all of that.
One's Italian and one's Irish.
that part's not true.
That's crazy, and they're
It's
still twins?
Vaguely true.
Vaguely true.
Really?
If you notice, one wears a fedora, the other an Irish cap. They both work for different mobs.
The Jeff Cap, oh yeah,
Ooh.
and they did a lot of exposition-y stuff in the dancings in the club rather, and Mary, Haley Steinfeld's character, does tell the brothers, like, I figured out what you did. You robbed from both gangs and blamed one another. So, like, they probably had Smoke going in with his fedora and the Italians. That's where they got the wine from. And Stack with his Jeff Cap that looks like an Irish mob, like a Peaky Blinders hat.
Or they just changed hats.
Or they changed hats. I don't know. I like
you be me.
You be me. No, yeah, but they definitely
No, they got the face-off, like, transplant
face
surgery.
off transplant.
And they did a whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think
That was a
people would
weird
buy them as the
segue
same
in
person.
the movie, though.
No.
What's that?
I said I don't think people would buy them as the same person.
Jesus Christ. So,
Where?
we open up with the brothers. They basically buy a sawmill from this guy, and then he says, "We don't want to see any of your clan buddies." And I'm like, all right, it's a little weird.
No, he said... No, like, every indication that this dude was just, like, saying, like, the other guy was saying, like, oh, we just don't, need any, like, dance and music, la, 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 like, or any, like, hootenanny. He's like, yeah, we don't need to see any of your clans people here.
Yeah.
It was a response to him, as far as I saw.
Okay. I might be misremembering the dialogue. There was a lot going on.
What do you think, Troy?
I don't think anything. I
Do
honestly
you recall what we're referring to?
No, I did. I didn't
weird.
rewatch the movie.
Oh, wow. Okay, go on.
Wow. All right. Cool.
It sort of felt called
me
out
on.
there a little
So,
bit on the
actually,
podcast. I'm supposed to know things.
Before I get too far into the plot, did you guys know this was going to be a horror movie going into it?
I did.
I had my general suspicions.
So from whatever I saw of the trailers
I
leading
knew
up to
enough,
it,
yeah.
I saw the trailers leading up to it, and it was like every trailer was the Smokestack twins having the club, and then people showing up trying to like burn it down or kill them or hunt them. There wasn't any supernatural elements in the trailers.
So
They kept that pretty hidden.
There's two trailers that I remember. One of them was exactly what you were talking about, where it's just kind of like a bunch of vague sort of imagery of weird stuff happening.
Yeah.
And then there is one that literally has the Haley Steinfeld vampire, we're going to kill every last one of you moment. And then that one has vampires.
Here's the thing with me was that, like, I knew that I should see this movie, but I was not going to make it out to see this movie.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was just going to be spoiled for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
By the time, the first thing in my feed that I found was, like, it was two people being like, the first thing you'll hear is that they're big surprise. Or first thing you'll hear is, like, surprising film. Like, all these indications that there's, like, a twist.
Of course.
And based on that and what I was saying, I was like, oh, okay, probably a horror turn. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds reasonable. But, like, and this is the other thing they've been doing, like Lovecraft Country was a show for a little bit that did, like, they're getting these period pieces of, like, Jim Crow South, Jim Crow laws, like any movie that, like, had, like, black people traveling and thing, and it's a great setting for for horror.
Sure, yeah.
Because they're already dealing with one thing, with one type of horror, like actual, people, fucking assholes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also pretty easy to just
And
you have a villain already made out for
yeah,
you.
you already have that can turn into a horror flick just that real quick.
Sure.
I mean, any slasher film it's the same thing.
Exactly.
It's except it's like, oh, basically, so there's an undercurrent of all that, and that's there's been a whole genre of horror movies that have been this, right? So I on that end, it's like, oh, you might think, oh, it's just like, one of these, not Jordan Peele. You think it's like a Jordan Peele?
Oh, like
thing,
a Peele movie, yeah.
Like, oh, but it's not that.
It's like a
at
no
least
for
I
get
don't think,
out.
even though he does have like twists and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I wasn't feeling that vibe from it. It was different from that.
Mm.
If I had to compare it more, it'd be like more like Lovecraft Country.
Yep.
A little bit, yeah.
But
The first episode of Lovecraft
yeah,
Country.
first episode
That's-
only. Honestly, let's
Famously,
be
the
fair.
first episode was great. You
Famously.
guys
one of
hated
the
every
best
other episode.
one of the best pilots of all time,
Great
and then
pilot.
there was more show, and then it got canceled.
Yeah. But like that. Otherwise, it plays a lot like From Dusk Till Dawn, with just a totally very different opening. So the first
Yeah,
thing
the first hour is just them like putting the juke joint together.
It
And
feels
it plays really nice.
and what I heard was this was like, so the first thing I got the impression, spoiler, was like, oh, it's a horror. They're gonna break into horror at some point, or it's a horror movie,
Yeah.
or even though they didn't market it that way. And then the second thing they said is like, what you don't know is that it's a musical. And so I was very I was like, okay, I'm actually very intrigued as to where they go with that, because I understand what he might mean, which ends up being what it is. And then I thought what it like could have meant, which I was like, okay, does it turn into song and dance? Like, does it turn into, like, do they break out into song and like do? It's not that. It's not show tune dance, right?
No, yeah.
It's not a
It's
show
not the
tune
music,
musical.
man.
The music is what's that word when it's interlaid into the
Oh, I have no clue, but I know exactly what you're
kinetic
talking
or
about.
like phonetic or something like that. I forget. It means it's like the music is like part of it's happening in the movie, like inside the reality of the movie. Like there's music playing, so that's where you get it. But like it's actually just like people at singing songs. It's like a concert,
Right.
that you're witnessing.
It feels like they're putting a spotlight on the music that's happening.
Diegetic.
Right, I've never
Diagenic?
talked to Jeff the
Diagenic.
same way they've talked to each other in Wicked.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
It feels like they're putting a spotlight on music that's naturally occurring within the world.
There's no one repeating my lines in a faster way, like right after I say them.
And it's
like,
not like the whole
"Why don't
town
want you
behind
to?
them
Why don't
breaks
want you
out
to?"
as well. Like it's not like a choreographed bit.
We
It's
can
just,
start doing
choreographed
that.
bit.
but when there is
Or
music,
is it?
like when they find Slim playing the harmonica at the train station, like you can tell the audio of the movie changes to focus on Slim and the harmonica to kind of boost that a bit, and everything else dies down, and it really focuses on what he's doing. But like he's just playing a harmonica. Nobody else is doing anything. As a matter of fact, no one's paying attention to him other than the Smokestack Twin and our main character, Sammy.
But they these the musical beats are all for the musical numbers are essentially in, even if they're just like a harmonica or that, but are in conjunction with the way that a musical would work, where it's like to tell feelings of characters in reaction to events, they go into song. So like it feels more like a regular movie, and most people will never think I'm watching a musical. They will never think those thoughts, but it will work exactly the same way.
I kind of felt it happening in the back of my mind. I didn't peg it really as like, oh, this is a musical, until almost the end when the vampires are just having a big old hootenanny outside, and they're singing like an old Irish like war song, and I'm like, oh, this is definitely a fucking musical. Why did I not peg that earlier? That's insane. But it's done really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, like, I do want to see it again. This is the other thing, is like there's a number of other cool elements, like undercurrent of like the Irish.
Remick being Irish, and that's one of my favorite kind of parts of it, because I feel like he's oddly kind of genuine. Like I don't think that he's like a villain that's like,
which one's Remick?
He's
the
main
vampire guy.
Okay.
Like I kind of feel like he's a little bit genuine, where he's like, I feel like he kind of has this thing of
isn't he? I was confused. See, this is where I couldn't. This is where like the size of the screen and like the character stuff I couldn't keep track of, because I already have a smoke and stack that I was trying to keep track of the entire time. Like I couldn't. Even that was hard.
Sure.
But when scenes get dark, I'm just like, I don't know who's talking. So I didn't get the idea. Like there's that house that the Native Americans come to and warn.
Yes.
Right? And this is a whole scene of like racism and stuff where it's just like they disregard their warning because they're
those two are claimed.
And then they let in the Irish, or they let in, are they Irish or
he's Irish? They are just normal American normal
the vampires. The vampires.
Yeah.
The vampires are coming together. But that's Remick.
Yes.
Yes.
The
He's
guy,
like, please
Irish
help
guy
me.
that let them
yeah,
in.
I've got gold. Like,
Well,
please
no,
help me.
no. He is the guy who shows up at the house,
Okay,
and he's already
so
burning and everything. That's Remick.
Yeah.
And then the two people let him in the house. They're both
Yeah,
just American
okay,
Southerners.
that's the other thing is like that is pretty early in the movie, right?
Yes.
So
It's
like
a little
it's
less than halfway.
early in the movie. It's pretty early in the movie. I'm saying that like it's so far earlier that like that whole scene. Yeah, you might be confused by that scene. It's if you're watching this, but like he's burning as he's coming in. Now I get it that like so immediately I'm like, oh, the vampires.
Mhm.
So because I was expecting one thing, I'm like, okay, it's vampire. That's a vampire.
Sure.
And then the whole impression of like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I was like, so do people in the theater, Troy,
Yep.
know
I can
it
give
at
an
this
answer.
point?
I
Or are they like, or is that like something that blows by and then when the vampires come in?
I can tell you right now, it blew by me. Because he said,
Okay.
I started to take him at his word that he was running from the natives, and it's like, oh, maybe they like were trying to burn him. And like maybe that's just me being like ignorant as fuck and not thinking more of it. But also, let's not neglect the fact, Troy, that D has seen 7,000 episodes of Supernatural. He definitely has an encyclopedic knowledge of all things.
You're not gonna
Like
Like-
you're not gonna put
like
a little
I- like-
sign of a vampire in front of D, and
like
he's not gonna pick it up.
like I won't like invite people in my house.
Yeah, like as soon as he was like asking to be let in and not just like walking in.
no.
Red flag.
Yeah, immediate red flag. Immediate red
It's a good
flag.
thing that we're not polite.
It's a salt. That's a salt line flag.
But my
like if the apocalypse ever happened and demons are walking the earth, I'm grabbing D. He might not be the strongest, fastest, or smartest, but he definitely knows the most about demons.
yeah,
and
he's
the
not
paranormal.
any of those things. He kind of is really bad at a lot of those.
But he knows the most about the paranormal. That's where we're getting.
The lore.
Yes. I'll be like, oh, D, this monster outside is
That would
speaking in
actually-
tongues. Who
That'd
is
actually
he?
be a really funny character for something. Somebody who only survives like a bunch of vampires because they watched like a bunch of Buffy.
You're literally describing Glenn, I think, from not Glenn. Who's the idiot nerd from Walking Dead? The fat guy from the comics. Doesn't matter. But that's the only reason he survives is because he's like pretending to know things to make everybody like him and get him to like Washington D.C. And he confides in Rick like, I have no fucking idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm just a fucking weakling. I just needed these people to help.
Right, I need that character, but with like confidence that they're saying the right thing, though.
Yeah.
But I was going to answer that differently.
Hurley?
Hmm?
Was it Hurley?
Maybe.
No, that was the fat guy from Lost.
Oh. That guy from Lost.
I was going to
Oh
say.
my God,
I,
Lost.
Remember Hurley?
Jesus Christ. Thank you for making me
Hurley.
mad about the finale of Lost all over again.
I was going to answer that question differently, by the way.
Yeah, how are you gonna
So
answer it?
I personally knew it was a vampire movie going in. It didn't even really seem like a twist to me, except for in the fact that if you film a movie, you have to reveal it somehow. I also
Right.
I feel like if you're watching on the big screen, you're seeing everything. Once he is covered in blood and then the guy gets back up in the cabin, like if you missed that he was burning,
Yeah.
you would get it then. Like you would pretty
Right,
much get it right
But I'm
after that.
saying that like I feel like those scenes are far enough apart that like that scene seems early enough. Like
It is about
it's
like a quarter
midway
of the
at
movie.
best.
Yes.
A quarter midway.
Yeah,
Quarter
less
to
than
third.
that.
So like and then the vampires aren't showing up till really the third act.
Yeah.
and
third
a
act?
lot of it's them pretending not to be vampires and just hanging out outside.
Right.
Yeah.
So which is weird. 'Cause outside.
I mean, they got to be let in, remember?
well, right.
What else you going to do? But hang out
They
and wait?
build a house.
No, they danced a circle instead. Instead of, building a cover for the sun.
Man, I love all the like the discussions on being let in, right? On like inviting.
That was
you
a
in.
very big point anytime the
Mhm.
monsters came up was that they had to be let in
Mhm.
or you had to walk out. It was a very, very tense interchange every single time. And I don't know why it
did
had to
we-
be like
did
that
we-
every time.
Yeah, it was. It felt a little bit too much, but
So I liked it because it leaned into some camp stuff that vampire stuff doesn't do anymore, I feel like.
Yeah. Buffy wasn't like inviting people in.
Yeah,
vampires were just killing
I
people.
feel like there's a
no, 100%. They had to be invited in Buffy.
I don't remember that. I was also
I
a
didn't
kid
watch
watching
Buffy,
Buffy.
so-
If you invited him in, it would be permanent. like if you ever invite them in your house, like,
Oh,
it's not like you can bust them out. You'd have to set a spell to like
see, this is why D is my apocalypse man.
redo it. But
D definitely knows his
but
shit.
generally you don't invite. But Lost Boys, you couldn't be like.
Mhm.
But their lore was that inviting them in renders you powerless. So like,
Oh.
they did a test that they thought it was the one guy, but he passed it when they had him over for dinner because he like touched the silver and he ate the garlic and all this stuff and he's like, oh, don't ever invite a vampire in. You take away your power.
Oh.
So it's like an invited. So it wasn't like they were blocked from coming in. It's just that if they're invited, certain things don't work on them. So that was the lore in Lost Boys. But like, you know, inviting vampires in is almost always. I'm trying to think of the ones that.
Yeah, but usually they underplay it, and this one definitely plays into it more than I.
It's a big problem if you think at all way too long about most things in Angel.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Because they use it as a plot device and like forget about it all the time. Like if I ever had to, if I do a rewatch of that show and have to think about all the times that he busts through doors and busts into places, I'm just like, you weren't invited. There's no way you can get in.
There's no fucking way. What the hell, man?
Like sometimes they would do it some credit to build like the security guard let me in, like or something like that. Or like, you know, when I threatened his life, or I showed him my face. He'll do like, but I'm interested to see actually how, because there's no possible. He busts in way too much.
The way around that is you got to go to a Texas Roadhouse and steal the sign from the hostess stand that says "Please seat yourself," and you just put that on somebody's front door, and then boom, you're allowed in.
We're getting into the
metaphysics.
we're getting into like the when can you start feeding gremlins again after midnight?
That's fair. That's fair.
That's sort of where we're at now.
Yeah, kinda.
No, I think this is fair enough because like no, it is like I think that's an easy enough thing to like in lore. Like what would count as an invite, right?
Genuinely, this is why I really wanted to do Sinners with D, because I know he knows a lot about vampires.
If you did flyers, right? If you have flyers out for your event, is that an invite?
Flyers,
right? Like if I say like,
oh, that'd be funny. I actually like that idea for a movie.
$10 at the door gets you in, and a vampire shows up and hands you a $10 bill. It's like, all right, cool.
They put the little like wrist strap on you at like an event, and you're just like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Then another one could do it where it's like it's a monster nightclub, and that wristband makes you powerless.
And then it's like, oh, now this wristband definitely allows me re-entry, right? I really need you to specify that. I'm allowed back in if I have to go back out to my car.
Like, yeah, I guess.
Okay, I need you to say it, man. I need you to say it, okay?
Sure.
No, I need you to say I can come back in.
You can have a lot of fun with that kind of lore with like this is where I want like people to like this is that the lore is always my favorite part of any kind of like supernatural like thing where it's just like you could build so much off it. Like what if it doing the invite did other thing like had other like capabilities like or the thing that it's not just inviting you in, it's like, oh, if you say I love you to a vampire, like none of your powers work. Like none of, like they're impervious to everything that you.
If you say I love you to a vampire, your dick's hard forever.
Right. It's just the rules.
Never
man.
goes back down, dude.
You can't get the blood out unless they suck it out. That's how it works.
Them's just the rules. I don't know what to tell you.
That's just the rules.
Sounds
man.
like a True Blood theme.
Oh my goodness!
Which I don't know much about theirs, but definitely I much prefer the eating. I like vampires. I'm trying to think of ones that do it differently, but because I think I like when vampires have to feed off one another or do something like that, like swap saliva in order to. So like, and a lot of them have a thing where it's just like if you are turned, you're not fully turned until you feed or something like that. Like there's
oh yeah, I do know about that.
And did they do that in this one?
No.
You returned.
No, the spitting in the mouth was a big thing. Like they had to.
There's a lot of other people that you get bit and then they just get back up. And she also spit in his mouth.
Yeah,
before.
like when they tossed that guy outside that they thought was dead, but he wasn't. Cornbread just like started eating his face and then got up because they were interrupted, and he just stands up a little bit later, and he's a vampire.
So they just got the bite.
Yeah.
So they're oh man, I thought for sure it was like a saliva swap.
No, it doesn't seem to be.
It was like more of a zombie.
I think she just wanted to spit in his mouth.
And this was another interesting element of it, is that vampires are more often, and this is also kind of true from Dusk Till Dawn, was that vampires are more often depicted as like singular monsters.
Yes.
So they're more like this person, or there's a small nest of vampires, right? Like like a Lost Boys. So there's vampires, but they're not like
there's not tons of them.
They're actually their individuality is almost always expressed, and the opposite is true in this one.
Yeah, they were
all
feeling
about conformity, right? So
pain.
there's big themes about conformity and
Yep.
and you know,
And it's also a big deal that he's Irish, and Irish kind of became a white people.
He says like, "Can't we all be Irish tonight?" or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, "Can't we all be like?"
And it's a whole movie about absorbing culture.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thing too, because that's usually relegated for zombie flicks.
Yes.
But I can see where they don't want to do, because if you do zombie, you do mindless, and they didn't want mindless; they wanted conformist, and it's like, so usually
they
zombies have been used for that, but they kind of get the best of both in that sense, because they're kind of like they have this powerful element to it as well.
I think vampires are also kind of good if you lean into it being a little bit more of absorbing. Like because you're kind of turning somebody into something else,
and there's power there too.
Yes,
it's like, and that was the dynamic between Smoke and Stack. Is like one of it was much more about like what's the word I'm looking for? It's not conforming. It's like it's like the loss of deculturalization kind of like thing. Like it's like
shit.
It's like not indoctrination, but like
integration.
No, it's like it's more of a loss.
I know exactly.
Yeah, I know.
What
We're
you're
all
saying.
everyone's like, no. If call in and tell us how much you hate us, and I think this word.
Call in and tell us what the word is, and you win $1 million.
If you send your SOS on your telegraph.
Yes.
No, but
our telephone number is 227. Call us now.
Just like the daytime black TV show.
Call the operator and tell her
227.
you're looking for the TB&J boys. She'll know where to send you.
Tell us for the gals at 227. Right after a different world.
And don't forget to tune in at 6 p.m. for Eisenhower's war speeches.
And buy cigarettes. So many cigarettes.
Charleston, the only way to chew.
And this podcast brought to you by Lucky Strike.
Marlboros are the only way I can deal with my bitch wife.
The doctor says that's the only way too.
That or a lobotomy.
Anyway, I'm
but
on
we
my
haven't gone
7th
that
whiskey
far.
of the day. Let's get on with the podcast.
Keeps my teeth clean.
Keeps my teeth clean.
And hers in her mouth.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
I watched my levels. I'm sorry.
I don't think you heard that much.
And hers.
Hers in her mouth.
Yes. Hers in her mouth because you're not. Domestic violence.
Because I'm punching her.
Yeah. Right to the moon, Alice.
In the teeth.
Oh,
The TB&J podcast.
Right to the floor, Alice. Your teeth, I mean.
The TB&J podcast does not condone domestic violence. Anyway.
Wait, we don't?
Yeah.
Or
I think that's a pretty easy
or the
thing.
reference to any minority group preceded by the word the.
Yeah.
And ending in S.
I'll try to find
You
what
know,
that is.
the blaz, the da.
This is not really a good one.
The jazz. It's all about the jazz
One
cigarettes.
of the whites.
Although even the Jews say the Jews. Anyway, I was going to say.
You want to cut that out? I might be able to do that for you.
It's fine.
I wasn't
don't
talking to
think
you.
Oh, okay.
You're not the one who said it.
He said juice.
Oh, right. Totally. Anywho.
Yeah, OJ.
Rest in peace, man. He was innocent.
And I learned in that song, not a Jew.
Yeah. Where the fuck were we before we went on that fucking war radio tangent?
So I was going to say.
Zombies and vampires.
Yeah, cool stuff.
I was going to say, I like that they made this more of. You were talking about Lovecraft Country before. And
only the one episode.
Yeah, only the one episode, please. But they are sort of like a kind of like an Eldritch-y kind of Arkham horror-y kind of thing in this movie, because they are like a hive mind, and they are they do have sort of like vague, weird rules that are unexplainable.
Yeah, so like the
Just like the whites.
They are very metaphorical.
just like the whites. They have.
I don't know. We golf.
It feels like. Jesus Christ.
You want to be accepted, you golf.
Yeah. You buy your polos and your golf pants and you go fucking golfing. What else is there to know?
It's hot and I hate it.
Yeah.
Get in the fucking car. We're drinking.
Yeah, get in the car, drink your gin, and shut up.
After this, we're fishing. We don't care about getting the fish. We care about drinking.
Yeah, we care about getting on a boat and drinking. Come on.
All of our hobbies revolve around drinking
I do.
and getting away from our wives.
I think you do have a solid point there, Troy, because the basis of the monster does seem to be vampires, and they do have like the majority of the stereotypical rule set. But then, like you were saying, like the hive mind and all that stuff, it does borrow from different horror characters or monsters.
Yeah, like I could see this in a very kind of like Lovecraftian kind of book. Minus the fact that he would not put black people in
or
the
like
book.
if you took these monsters and put them in like a
He
new
wouldn't. He
28 Days Later kind of movie, I feel like it would also kind of work. Like if you just had a hive mind zombie.
Hey, everybody.
thing.
Stan Lee here.
Well, back from the dead.
Lovecraft was a racist.
That's just.
See you next time, true believer.
Wow, thanks, Stan.
Fun fact, the KKK said that they didn't want Lovecraft in because they thought that he would make them look like crazy racists. That's real.
Wait. I didn't know that. Are you saying Lovecraft was too racist for the Ku
were,
Klux
and
Klan?
they were a good racist group.
They were some honest mom and pop racists.
Didn't that guy say something like that recently?
Yeah, I
He's
think
like,
so.
we are not we are a reasonable racist group. I mean, we are a reasonable group.
Oh my
awesome.
fucking God.
It's like the
This
Congress
is,
or something.
I'm so sorry, listeners. This is the kind of nonsense and tangents you get when we haven't had a podcast in like 6 months. I do apologize.
I thought we were doing pretty well.
I thought we're doing great, I think. I don't know about the sinners, but that's okay. They really fucking said Lovecraft is too racist for us, huh?
Yeah, apparently.
That's fucking
Don't make us
hilarious.
seem like crazy racist, not reasonable racist.
It almost feels like a Family Guy skit where like the guys in their hoods are like, whoa, Lovecraft, we don't want you in here. You're fucking crazy.
I mean, he was one of the types of guys who's just like, the Italians? No.
No, not the Italians. They'll ruin the neighborhood.
They're basically black, is what he said.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus
I
Christ.
tried to read because I was on a kind of like a cosmic horror-y sort of kick at one point, and I was like, I'm gonna listen to a little. Like, I know it's gonna be dated. I know he's a racist. What's it? And I listened to like 10 seconds of like the original Call of Cthulhu, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He uses the word mongrels a lot.
Sure does.
Is the writing okay? I heard he's not great.
Not really. Yeah.
I heard it's not.
It's very
Great.
diary style, so I kind of didn't know how to judge it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Enough about the racist Lovecraft.
Anywho.
let's
to
get
our
back to
fun
the racist
movie.
vampires.
Yeah, back to our fun movie about the racist white people and the
Yeah,
vampires.
I mean, we've touched a good. I think we've touched upon a lot. I mean, like music, obviously another thing, but dude's voice is amazing.
So that guy, this is like his first acting thing.
He's
actually a
incredible.
musician.
He's great in it.
He's a real life
Yeah,
musician and
yeah.
singer, and this is just him doing an acting thing because
also-
Ryan Coogler asked
I
him
also
to.
like the
Yeah.
more the movie goes on, the more kind of fucked up he looks. Like his fingers get really, really long.
Oh,
Well,
Remick?
does he
Yeah.
turn
Yeah.
at all? Okay, this was my confusion at one point. Like, he got bit real good, right? Bit and scratched up. Like, not Remick. The
Sammy,
the dude. Yeah.
Sammy gets fucked up. He gets beaten and scratched.
But then the whoever turned them all or whatever, that dude dies and they all burn out before he turns. Is that
No,
kind of
he doesn't get bit. He gets fucked up and
I
slashed.
thought
and-
he got bit.
No, he gets slashed with Remick's claws because he like get those big vampire talons.
Okay.
And he like slashed him across the face, but he
Mhm.
didn't like bite him. So it's not quite zombie rules, I guess, but it's close.
I don't think you would get it from a scratch for a zombie, at least in most rules. But
Yeah. I also it
The
felt,
vampire claw attack in the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual doesn't have it on the claw attack.
what I
You don't turn. You don't turn during the claw
give me your
attack.
fucking lunch money. Shut the fuck up.
Those are the rules.
See,
We're having a reasonable conversation about
what
vampires.
we're gonna have a quick segment on is like the best use of transmission of this shit is definitely from 28 Days Later.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Which one?
20 Days Later, that old ass fucking movie with
No, he's talking about
I'm talking about
which
the
bite.
scene, like what situation of transfer.
Oh, fuck. Ah.
Okay, so they are at the facility. They have made it to like the government facility. They've made to where a place like they will arguably be safe. That's like they've been their whole mission, and the old dude has been there the entire time. And he's literally looking up, and there's a dead body of a infected on the roof, and he's just like looking up at a crow or something, and a blood drips down from it, like just happenstance directly into his eye.
Oh, yes.
And then he's like, "What the fuck?" And then he turns, and you're like, "Fuck me!" You're like,
That
was always to me like I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
That happened. That exact.
I'm the guy that gets shit in his eye at the worst time, and I'm like, "Oh god damn
That-
it!"
that
That's
happened
gonna
to
be-
me,
That's how I died in the zombie apocalypse.
That
That
basically happened to me at work, where we were moving stuff around, and I turned into a zombie. No, but we
worst day ever.
we were moving stuff around at work, and they
Mondays,
were
am I right?
Womp womp.
but there was like a big drum of something.
You come back as a zombie, and your coworker's like, "Uh-oh, somebody's got a case of the Mondays."
and I just start gnawing into them. No, but
You got a taste of the nom noms.
no, but I was moving around like a big drum of something, and they're like, just make sure you wear gloves and have you are real protected. Like, definitely don't get anything on you. And I'm like, okay. And I pushed the whole thing down. I like double checked it. And I picked it up, kind of sloshed around a little bit. I'm like, nope, that's good. And then I picked up a little like plunger thing that was next to it. And I went like this and kind of put it over my shoulder. And one drop just fucking. And literally just arced. I watched it arc completely into my eye, and I had to get it like washed out with eye cleaner, and then I had to go to the emergency room. I went to the emergency room. I was sitting there. They were pumping my eye for hours. Apparently, it was a chemical that they used to clean jet engines. And I'm like sick. Awesome.
So that's why you've been wearing an eye patch for the last 8 years.
yeah.
And how's the eye?
Eye's fine.
Was it at all fine up?
Nothing got messed up. I was completely
Did it
fine.
hurt
They pumped
initially?
it. No, it was a thing where I'm like,
It was precautionary.
yeah,
Okay.
it got in my eye, and I went, is this bad? And it started to tinkle, and I went, yeah. And I ran into the
don't
bathroom.
fuck
They
with
washed
eyes.
out my eyes. Yeah.
Is this the same job? I won't name it. Where you also lost. the
Wait.
tip of your finger?
If this is the issue, aren't goggles the answer?
Yes.
Yes.
And now tell
why
you-
were there not? Why there? Wrap it in cellophane and do this and that.
that's
but
right.
don't wear any goggles like a pussy.
That's where I was going with this day. So you know that Troy's missing a fingertip on one hand.
It is a different job. It was
Okay.
a different job.
I thought that was the same job, and I was
that
gonna be
true?
like,
yeah.
yeah, Troy's missing a fingertip.
Shit.
You've known me for years.
Troy lost that fingertip at a different job where a machine like ate his finger while it was in a glove.
I was wearing 2 sets of gloves. It cut through both. It didn't cut through either glove, and it chopped my finger off. It like grabbed and pinched and pulled. Anyway, sorry to anybody who's squeamish on this podcast.
Yeah, we just talked about getting shit in your eyes and fingers. Oh, that's actually. I'm so sorry to bring this around again. I might cut this. There, in high school wrestling, there's a rule that if someone starts bleeding, they stop the match immediately and make the wrestlers separate. Because at the school district I went to, according to the coach I had at the time, there was a kid in the early 2000s who was wrestling, and his blood got into the other kid's eye, and that kid got HIV.
Mm.
Yes.
So wait, how did he became gay?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, is that not how it works anymore?
No, no.
They shoot that
Gay stopped being a transmissible thing back in the 80s.
Yeah, they
wow.
patched that one out.
Yeah, that was a patch. God went ahead and said, whoopsie.
That was,
the
Download
last
the latest update, you guys.
the last thing I'll say before we get back on fucking track here is when they were
I'm
pumping
not
my
cutting
eye.
anything. This goes out in full.
When they were pumping my eye, like
That sounds so gross.
it is
it
is
got into
gross.
the back of your throat.
No, but Christ.
That fluid just coated in the back of your
It
throat.
just coated the back of your throat.
It just kept flowing. I was like, oh. I had to swallow all of it as fast as I could.
So much eye.
It was weird that they put it in my mouth and not in my eye. No, but
No one's gonna get that because we weren't recording. The
No, we
back of the
weren't.
throat
I mean,
stuff.
we were. I'm just not going to leave it in. That was before I started.
but they basically put my head on like a thing of like actual absorbent diapers.
Like
And they-
your technique,
Yeah.
your head
Mm-hmm.
technique.
Yeah. That's what I do. I lay
yeah.
in all the diapers
Oh.
first. No, but
That way, when she squirts, you got the diapers around you to
can I
absorb it.
finish this fucking story?
I don't think you can, Troy.
Ain't gonna happen.
I
buddy.
promise you're gonna laugh. We're all gonna have a great time.
We are laughing and having a great time.
Way ahead of you.
I'm gonna try one more time.
Okay.
So they're pumping.
Your head is on diapers.
Yes, my head is on diapers. They're pumping
They're
this
pumping
tube
your eye and
right in
coating
my
your
eye.
throat.
And and the nurse walks in, and this thing is like completely full up. It's coming right out of my eye. It's going all over the diaper. I'm drowning in it. And the nurse comes in and is like, I'm like, excuse me, can you? And she's like, do you need me to change your diaper? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yes, please. And they did.
I thought they were gonna say, "Oh God, it's just supposed to be like a splash."
Yeah. What are they doing?
Oh God, that's way too much.
No, they pumped it for like 45
Dude, I thought you were gonna
minutes.
float out of your
Oh,
head.
we were supposed to get you out of here an hour ago.
They did it for like 45
The
minutes.
doctor went home for the
whole-
day.
Has this been on the whole time? Are you okay?
I'm
good.
We were supposed to turn this off ages ago. Everyone went home for the day.
I was there for hours.
I'm the
not
janitor.
a lie. Yeah, we're closed. We're a hospital, but we're
Yeah,
closed.
the parking garage is locked. You're gonna have to walk home. I'm sorry.
We turned off all the machines already.
It was awful. It was one of
Lights
the
are off.
worst-
You're gonna have to walk out in the dark.
It was actually worse than when I chopped my finger off. Believe it or not.
I do believe it. It's your eye. Anything in the eye fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So what else about Sinners?
Yeah, Sinners. Yeah. Music is all really, really, really good.
How did you feel about the music through different generations, where they had like rock and rollers and DJs and stuff?
Excellent
The
question.
ending, like the montage thing at the end?
No, it's
No, so
it's-
while Sammy is performing, a bunch of like different generations of peoples are kind
yeah,
of
past and future.
united. It's not really clear whether it's like a real thing or if it's just like an imagined thing, but there's like ancient African people dancing in traditional
I'm
clothing.
going to refer to it as a missed thing on my part.
Yeah, that's fine. But in the beginning of the movie, they have this big explainer bit where they're saying like there are some people whose storytelling and musical abilities can like bring up the ghosts of past generations and unite everybody in song and dance. And that's great. And then when Sammy does it, I understood what was happening, but then a voiceover explained it again.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
Mm.
I feel like I got the point without you having to shove it down my throat. Just let me know what's going on. Trust
you,
that I
you didn't
understand.
want it to coat the back of your throat.
No, I didn't need to coat the back of my throat. I was already there. It was on the tip of my tongue. We're good.
It was all over the tip of your tongue and the back of your throat.
And all over the front of my teeth. It was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I knew
Could have
what-
brushed with it.
I could have.
And then a bunch on your face at the end.
Well, that's just because I'm sloppy. But but
Blowing bubbles.
blowing bubbles and
We're
bubbles.
talking
Thank
about
you, sir.
We're talking about Sinners.
Yeah, I'm a sinner.
Sinners.
Sinners. But no, I that really rubbed me the wrong way there for a second, and I don't know why it did in an otherwise really good movie.
Okay.
But I think it was a little bit too like, do you get it, bud? Do you get it?
Exposition-y. It's, you know,
Well,
Yeah.
I was
People-
more asking
people
because
get real confused by lore.
Eh.
I was mostly asking
Just
because
ask
I
the Trade
feel like
Federation.
I feel like some people would look at that as like goofy, and I haven't really heard anybody who thought that like the people with like electric guitars in the middle of this like
Sure.
like what was it 1920s
1932.
32 oh yeah, because it was World War yeah or I guess they're both after World War I. But I feel like
Yeah,
some
they didn't even have matches then.
I feel like when
Ah.
I was watching it, I liked it, and I was like, I wonder if some people are going to think this is like really goofy looking. And I feel like I haven't really heard that opinion.
No, I was like, this is crazy, but then I was like, it makes sense within the
Like,
context of
Black
the
people
world.
like it because it's a beautiful and excellent movie about like the conditions of Jim Crow laws and
Mhm,
exposition on that. White people like it because a lot of black people die.
Oh,
Okay. You want me to cut
Okay.
that for you, bud? Or?
No, it's just a joke.
Yeah, I'm
Clearly
kidding.
a
I'm kidding.
joke,
I'm kidding.
assholes.
I'm kidding. Yes.
it's
No.
2025. It's actually he'd be canceled if he didn't say that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was. Thank you for fulfilling your quota of jokes.
I don't want to talk about quotas.
Quotas.
The big beautiful bill has passed.
Mm-hmm.
It passed the Senate, not the
It is.
House.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it passed.
Did it really? Oh, the house. I thought it hadn't gone through the
No,
house yet.
It came from the house.
Oh,
50 to 51.
cool. Cool.
Bye porn.
Bye everything.
Bye porn.
That's fine.
Specifically.
That's what he said. He
It's
said
gonna be
everything.
the first thing. That's going to be the first thing gone.
All right, guys, we are turning TB&J Podcast LLC into a porn studio.
Yeah. That'll be
there-
my thumbs out.
There's
Ah.
there's now a new hole to fill in the
again.
industry. There's a new hole to fill in the industry, and I think TB&J is
We're going to fill those holes.
We're all pretty sexy.
and we are perfectly positioned to fill those holes.
Mm-hmm,
Especially if we get Pablo Podcasto out of the closet there,
Yep.
we can definitely make this happen. Now, Troy.
I have never been in the closet.
Yeah, he strikes me as pretty straight.
I am
He started speaking, my pants flew off.
I am omnisexual. You must remember this.
I'm so sorry. How did you feel at the ending?
I loved it. I mean,
Like, Sammy grows up, he
so,
becomes a very successful musician.
I think it's one of the better end credits. It's like it felt like I'm like after years and years of them being like, Pip the Troll is voiced by Patton Oswalt at the end of Eternals, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like I couldn't I couldn't care less. Like after like years and years of that, and me sitting there like a fucking sucker watching all of them every time. This is the one where I'm like, oh, this is like a scene that should have been in the movie. Like this is
Yeah.
It's
This
like
is the ending, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just the future 80s one, right?
Yeah,
92,
and then there's still one more after that.
Or
There's
93, 91, somewhere like that.
But yeah, like 91 or whatever. He comes in with the hip hop outfit with the girl,
Yep.
and then they
kind of just like
they
say
just
hi.
hang out, say
They
hi.
both look so hot.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, I'm like, I don't know if you said it as a joke. Yes.
No, it's
I
not
would fuck
a joke.
both of them in those outfits right now.
80s truly are back, huh?
Yeah, dude. What are you talking about?
I do love
Bands
it.
are putting out vinyls and cassettes, dude.
I'm not even really an 80s person.
I'm gonna be honest with you. At our bar, we every Friday we play. I put on I forget whatever
Sure.
Spotify or something, and it's just like feel good 80s things. Like every Friday, we will get a parade of people going. This music tonight is awesome. Like love the music tonight. Love it's fucking Susu Studio and shit. Like like it's a lot of Phil Collins.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of there's some ABBA in there. It's like Kenny Loggins. Like it's just it's that people are like I haven't felt this
Zone.
good in years, and I'm like yes, it's probably the 80s. Like,
Yeah.
this is what it was like all the time.
I've been to a
Walking on the street, you're
I've
just Susu Studio and all over the place.
I've been to a couple of local shows at very small bars in Center City, and a cover band that plays sometimes here is called the Reagan Years, and they dress like very flamboyantly and very loud, bright blues, bright pinks,
That a Boy
stupid
George?
giant
Yeah.
sunglasses, and they play just covers of 80 songs.
I love it.
It's fucking
back
hilarious.
in the 80s, was it true that all the children were running away from monsters and playing D&D a bunch?
No, everyone who was kung fu fighting.
Yeah, that's why that's the song.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it was just a historical retelling.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was against monsters.
Okay.
But it
And
was
they
always
were-
Kung Fu
But it
fighting.
was always
and-
kung fu
okay,
fighting.
gotcha.
They were
And then
always-
in 1991, it was Kung Fu fighting against Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mortal Kombat. That was the joke. All right. I don't know. There's much else I really wanted to discuss about this film.
I think
Fuck
we
it.
did it.
Sammy is everyone that sings and plays is so fucking good in this movie. I don't want to look into if it was like dubbed over or not because I just want to believe it's real. I know Sammy's singing is real. I want to believe that's him playing the guitar every time as well. I just want to go to my grave believing that, even if it's not, even if it's a lie.
Yeah, I know. The only other thing that I wanted to bring up, and this is because I haven't seen a ton of people talk about it, and it's a thing very uniquely that's a position that I can talk about for once. Is Haley Steinfeld's character is interesting to me specifically because this is a character like for anybody who doesn't know, I am
stuck in the middle.
My mom is half black, so I am super white, and it's like a really weird kind of like.
Famously, your siblings are both like ginger,
Yes.
pale-skinned freaks.
but they're not pale. Is
Troy
the other
is
thing is like
Famously, a white person.
yes, very much
like,
so.
He I don't know if he got the legal rights to this or any money for it, but like the money should have been there for your picture in the dictionary next to white person.
Yes.
Hellman's mayo on Wonder Bread.
Yeah. I made a D&D monster manual reference in this. Yeah. But it's like this weird sort of like thing where it's like some people will tell me that I'm black who are black people, and some of them are related to me and some of them aren't, and then some people will be like no, and it's like a weird thing where I will sometimes refer to myself as that, but then most of the time kind of won't, and then there's a lot of disclaiming. And Haley Steinfeld, who is both in the movie and in real life even less black than I am, is sort of this like accepted into the group kind of thing. But it is like the character has this sort of vibe to, like, she is the first person to turn. And it's like, it feels very much like a thing of like, yeah, you are a part of this, but like, be careful. Like, you can very quickly slide into, like, there's a whole lot of, like, when people are mixed or even less than that, sometimes you get put into groups of people who are like, yeah, well, like, you know, my black friend. And it's somebody who is like me, the whitest person you've ever seen, or like
an African black person.
Yeah, like not African American.
Yeah, like an African person.
Yeah,
very different.
I don't know what you're doing. I'm missing
Africa.
the joke.
Like from Africa.
Yes, yes.
Like with the sounds.
Like
kinda,
Elon Musk, who's from Africa.
Right. Like Charlie's Theron.
Sure. Okay, I'm following now. I got lost somewhere.
Now, what's it called? What's his name? Childish Gambino. His show Atlanta did a couple episodes that have some outside.
Oh,
of their,
Dong Lover.
Have some of their outside of the main storyline, I guess, episodes that are kind of like one-offs that are very artistic. And it's kind of a hard. It's its own universe. The show. So like there is a side plot of the universe that there is like a bill passed of reparations. And and like there's one episode, and then they do I think like a follow up to it, and this one is just fucking brilliant because it just centers on this one kid who is like white as white can be white, right? And I think the opening is him like playing on a video game, and fucking playing and like calling like whoever's yelling out on the other end of the video game, he calls him the N-word, right?
Oh boy,
like stuff like that, like. Or it throws around with his friends, goes around with his white friends, does all this. Then you go down to learn that like his dad is like 100% black. Like he is like very black. His guy's driving him to school, and you can see how very different they are. Like this is a white kid. He did not take anything of that. His girlfriend like breaks up with him. Like there's other stuff, and then they have all these things at the schools whether you can claim to be black because of these reparations. I forget what it was even for. Like whether you could get this money. So that would be given to you, but like there would be like a panel at like every school or something. So like there's all these so they were essentially establishing like what's black. I forget even like the reason for this, like how it came about, but it was something like that. Where it was like they got a grant or something. The school got a grant, and it was like all black students can get this money. Like it was like a whole thing. But like they would go in and go against this panel. And there's just like white dudes who are like rapping, and but like the argument being that like they are more black than him.
Yeah.
That like even though his dad is legitimately black, so they have this whole thing and how like they don't let who's the fucking the Supreme Court Justice Judge Robert. They're like fuck that guy.
John Roberts. Or Clarence
like,
Thomas.
Clarence Thomas. They have a whole thing on that, and then like the end butt of the show. The episode is that they fast forward a couple months, and he's like working at a supermarket or something, and he's like fresh cut out, like he's now played up all of his black attributes. And you're like, and he's like, yeah, girl, what's up? Like he's doing all this shit, and he runs into his ex-girlfriend. And she's like all into him because like the side thing was that she was kind of into black guys.
Oh my goodness
and it's
gracious!
Like it's like one of the funniest fucking ending. It works the whole. You're just like, what is happening?
So what you're saying is, I need to go watch Atlanta right now.
Oh, that is 100% true. If we should be, I would do a podcast fully in Atlanta all the time.
What's it on?
FX.
Hulu then for streaming. Okay. I'll see if I still have a Hulu account.
This has
somewhere.
been. If you like Sinners, you're gonna love Atlanta.
Honestly, yeah, probably.
Said by the white guy voice.
Said in the white guy voice. Yeah, Sinners. As we kind of wrap up here, it was honestly a pretty damn good movie. I feel like the music was spot fucking on. I really loved all of it completely. Music is definitely one of the biggest things I look at in a film.
I mean, this is a movie about music.
Lots
yeah.
of female pleasure in their sex.
Also,
Always a fantasy, and the girls having a good time.
Yeah.
With the sex.
Absolutely. I think every sex scene in this movie was instigated by a woman, I think.
Yeah. Very, very, very consent forward.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, yeah. Michael B. Jordan didn't know he was banging a vampire, but, like, he was still into it. He was happy about it.
I think he was down.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, if they knew they were banging a vampire, it's...
Oh, speaking of, my wife knows of this movie, but she knows nothing else about it because the audio clip of Mary's character saying, you licked my cooch and you fucked me so hard I thought you forgot, or I thought you, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's apparently a big TikTok sound that people like to use in videos. Yeah, because I was playing the movie as she got home from work and she heard that in the other room and she was like, wait, I know that sound.
Wait, what does it say?
It's Mary talking to one of the brothers at the train station saying, you licked my cooch and fucked me so hard I thought you forgot. And like that apparently is like a big sound that people use on TikTok videos, just for like funny memes and clips and whatnot. It's just Haley Steinfeld saying that in her southern accent. That's 100% fake.
I think my entire feed of those types of reels and things is just like husband and wife shit.
I don't have TikTok on my phone. I should.
I don't have TikTok either. It's just you should not.
Oh, actually, I should not.
Absolutely should not have it on your phone because once you download it, their cookies like get in you.
Well, not even that, but with my ADHD, I would never stop.
all in the back of your throat.
It's just all in the back of my throat. All them cookies.
All right. In that manner, should we end this one?
We should. Do you want to give it a grade or no? We don't need to.
Of course.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Troy.
Letters and numbers?
Let's do letters.
Yeah.
Like we're in fucking high school. How do you feel about Sinners the movie? 2025.
I really
Michael B. Jordan.
love this movie. I should have rewatched it. I'm gonna give it a super high grade because it has issues, but it's almost so much of like a movie that feels like a vibe that I kind of don't really care about him that much. I may just go A+. I really like this movie.
Okay. I'll go A-.
A+, huh?
I'm gonna go A-. Knowing what kind of seeing what it is, it's not my. This is totally a movie that if it's made in 1987, I'm like, oh my, this is the greatest movie of all time, and it would have been. It literally would have been.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, yeah, this is good. People should see it. It's probably gonna do a lot for a lot of people. It's because I think that it'll get them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not for me. Like, it's
sure.
not, you know what I mean? Like, it's. And that's just the case. I'm right up there at that age of I am no longer part of the equation.
Sure.
I'm reaching that age of like, oh, your opinion is totally irrelevant. We don't need anything from you. We have all your money, and you're good.
And that's why you're here,
Right.
on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not appealing to me anymore.
Yeah.
But I definitely see the like appeal of it. But it doesn't cross that threshold of like, I think this is great.
Sure.
Like Peacemaker's higher.
Yeah, for sure. I famously on this podcast, I'm a big victim of recency bias. If I've seen something very recently, I think it's either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever. But
you think this is the worst thing ever and you hate it?
No, I give it a thumbs up. I do think this is very good. I don't know that I would say A+ like Troy has, but I would probably stick with like a solid A.
Mm-hmm.
Like A is probably pretty good. I did forget one thing that I did want to mention real quick before
That's an average of an A.
I did too. I wonder if we're thinking the same thing.
the negative reviews.
No.
Okay, different thing. So I, because I'm white, I'm on Reddit. There is a subreddit called Cinema, which is very, very pretentious and full of themselves, and they have been having a field day amongst themselves of shitting on this movie. and saying that all of these fake, in quotes, positive reviews are going to ruin cinema in the long run because Sinners is not a great movie.
A real r/the Snyder Cut kind of vibe.
A little bit. They're saying it's all over the place as far as like editing and pacing, and that it feels like it's not really like going at a regular steady pace. And then they say the ending is super fucking weak, saying that how the fuck do 6 people in a barn fight off 30 strong ass vampires? Why do the vampires randomly run out of the barn right before sun rises? And what the fuck is up with the KKK shit at the end? It came out of nowhere. It felt like a weird
that's
third
wrong.
plot.
I kind of agree with the.
I'm not saying I agree with any of these points. I'm just reading off my.
No,
screen.
I'm referring to them. I'm not talking to you.
Sure,
but,
sure.
I almost agree with the ending with the sunlight and everybody fighting the vampires off really easily.
No, I don't disagree with anything they said. Those are just points that they don't make about other movies.
Yes.
Like that. Like you can say that about like 100%. Like it's a little off. Like the ending doesn't. Like endings are hard. It didn't stick that landing. It didn't do that great. But it does stick the landing on the extended portion. Like how they ended the plot was not great, but how they end the movie with the after credit it is good and gives it a solid feel. But I definitely felt like it was a little too chaotic, and he has trouble with endings. What's Coogler?
Yeah,
Coogler has trouble with like.
I feel like that bit in the lake where he had Sammy dead to rights. It's one of those things.
It's
where
a little convenient.
The villain's just waxing poetic a little too long without just getting to his point, and that is ultimately his downfall.
No, it definitely is a Coogler issue. Is where I do think like they can say, but like that type of stuff is so often I feel like forgiven for other films, whereas as you said, and this is where I really heard it, is that like, okay, I will go ahead and say like Everything Everywhere All at Once was a better movie than this.
Okay, I can see that.
I think
that's not super controversial.
And that was a incredibly good like from head to finish, like it's from head to toe, from start to finish. It did all those things, and it stuck the landing on those things. So yeah, that's a better movie for what could arguably be in a similar. I don't want to call it a genre, a similar vibe of movie that was a Minority in America, like
very like
group,
symbolic,
very
almost
symbolic,
dripping in metaphors,
dripping in metaphor and racism, like whatever. Like in that vein, it was similar, and it's not as good as that. So sure. Cinema Reddit has, I'm sure, every reason to kind of like say something about it.
But like the Minecraft movie came out.
So don't get me wrong. I could see how if they have consistency in this sense, then it might be like, you know what, this isn't like, I know you're all liking this movie, but it's like maybe you're saying more of a vibe, and it's an important movie, but it's not great. It's not a truly great cinematic movie like a Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I try to think of like other Oscar winners that I have to assume that Reddit cinema is like all about, right? I have to assume that like that's their vibe.
They're either all about it or they're like, fuck every Oscars movie.
Well, yeah, but like I feel like Oscars don't like the Oscar winners for like a whole picture category.
Yeah.
They tend to pick movies that, for whatever they are pretty flawless for what they are.
Yeah,
like, don't get me wrong. Like there's plenty of movies that I don't enjoy, but like it sticks its landing. It does its thing.
I think of movies like The Artist, right, which won back in 2013 or whatever it was, where it was a black and white silent film and it won the best picture that year.
Weird as shit, but like that's what I was kind of.
I watched it and I was like, this is okay, but it won the award because what it was trying to do was really fucking successful, even if the plot writing underneath was a little weak.
Whereas, like on the other hand, did American Beauty win?
I think
American Beauty did win.
American Beauty did win,
and purely ridiculous movie at this stage to some degree, but it was good throughout.
Yeah,
like it sticks every one of its storyline angles. Like, and I don't recall like being like, that's weird that they did it this way.
Yeah, this year's Oscars, or this past year's Oscars rather, Anora won Best Picture, and that's a movie that I don't really care that much about, and don't like. It's good. I just don't like it. It's very if you liked
boring.
yeah, that's what I said. But if you like Uncut Gems, it's very that vibe. That's another movie I really don't like that much.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one because I know it's sad.
It's very sad. Both are
I
very
don't want
sad.
to see sad.
But it's like a thing where it's
Sad
like
sucks.
I saw it and I was like, man, I'm kind of bummed that this one is the one that won. They're like, oh, what don't you like about it? I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't really like it that much, but I don't really have a problem with it.
Sure. I will also
It was
point.
the whites. I didn't like the whites in it.
I don't like the whites.
So many whites in this movie.
This exact post I'm reading from on Reddit has 760 something upvotes, but it's got like 2,000 comments.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think everybody agrees with this guy as much as I maybe made it out
Okay.
to in the beginning. But
Yeah.
cinema does seem to be having a bit of a circle jerk with this one. I just thought it was interesting that people didn't find the plot put together, or they didn't find the connection between like the vampires and the history and whatever.
Yeah, and like I said,
the
it has
KKK.
some problems. I think I overall like this movie so much that I'm kind of like the problems. I'm like, they're kind of in it. Like they kind of.
Listen, I
pass by
can
me.
absolutely see it. Like I'm telling you, things that surprise you are always going to win you over. So you see a
Sure.
movie like Sinners in the theater when it first comes out, you don't know anything's coming. I'd probably have it up there in A+ too. You know, if I wasn't expecting and I went out because you spend the money on it, you have like you have like
Sure.
commission bias, you know, like
Oh, I've
like-
paid for some fucking stinkers. I did go see the Minecraft movie.
like you're gonna,
And the
you're
Borderlands
gonna- you're
movie.
gonna
The
defend-
Borderlands movie is so much worse.
And you
Yeah.
want there's like any great. He's like, yeah, fucking solve this. That was a good decision on my part. There we go, pat in the back, and like,
Mhm.
and like, it's just like, yeah, it was everything I thought. Yeah, absolutely. There's a big, and I can see absolutely doing that. It's just
Yeah.
The thing that I forgot about that I want to mention briefly before we finally end this podcast.
Okay.
Is this is also kind of an important movie, like in the industry, because famously this movie was in a
shot.
bidding war.
Yeah.
It was shot, and then it was in a big bidding war between a bunch of different studios who wanted it, and Warner Brothers won because they basically offered Ryan Coogler like the fucking moon.
And
like
Dot fucked all of them.
and yep, every single one, and
Wow.
she's of age now.
Wow.
But
Wow.
But he
Wow.
basically Ryan Coogler like he like after a certain amount of years the rights revert back to him. He got a slice of like the opening box office,
And
which
he has
directors
to be
don't
turned
usually
into
do.
a vampire by 2030.
He does have to be turned into a vampire. That is the
By
one problem.
2030.
He gets to be turned into a vampire.
Yeah, it gets to.
Um,
Must be. He has to be turned. Like, all the executives are vampires.
But it was like a thing where it was like this movie's like it was very, very beneficial for the director and not so much the studio itself. And every studio suddenly came out and they were like, well, if we do this, then other directors are going to want us to like give them money and like make sure that the rights are
Yeah,
very
how
back
about
then.
that?
It's like, and they're like, if we don't have the rights to this in 20 years, then, you know, people aren't going to watch it on our streaming service. And it's like, I don't know. Maybe get fucked. I don't really care if it's on
Hey,
HBO Max
hey.
or not.
Get fucked.
I'm like, I'll buy it on fucking Blu-ray, I guess. But that was like a big
That
like,
is good.
studio.
No, that is a fair point.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, thank you.
I feel like I'm being condescended to a little bit.
I'm
No.
trying to be nice, and I'm trying to remember to say
Troy,
things
Pride
that
Month
I'm
is over.
appreciative
he's
don't
about.
cracking.
care.
He's
I'm
cracking his knuckles at
appreciative
me.
about this.
He
and
hasn't.
I'm telling you
He's
about
holding.
it.
He's holding a gun.
I'm listen. The fact that I have to tell you that I'm appreciative of it is annoying to me.
I'm feeling very
but
threatened.
I feel like I appreciate this, and it's my duty
He's
and my
locking-
responsibility
he's locking the door.
to tell you.
Thank you all for listening to this episode of the TB&J podcast. We are going to do our damnedest to get back to you on a semi-regular basis.
Did you say dandest?
No, I said damnedest.
I mean, it should be easy. We got
Dandiest.
Jurassic Park. We got Superman. We got Fantastic Four.
Superman next week.
Yeah,
Ooh, is that true? I
Yeah.
don't know.
yeah.
Is it
7
is it
days-
on Fantastic July 4?
Ooh. Oh, fuck! Superman comes out. Is that the same week as Fantastic
11.
Four?
11.
Yeah, is that
11.
Yeah,
It's-
Fantastic Four is the 11th?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm asking.
Literally Jurassic Park,
You said it was
Fantastic
next.
Four, and Superman are all back to back to back.
Okay, cool. So,
Please stop talking to this podcast.
all right, that's it for the podcast. Thank you all for listening very, very much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful life.
That's so funny.
I hit the wrong button.
I feel like that was the right button.
Yeah. Have a wonderful life. Womp womp. Oh, and happy 182 day. Today is the 182nd day of the year, a.k.a. Blink 182 day. Bands. Okay. Yeah. You don't give a fuck. I do. As I eat my M&Ms.
I'll get the fuck right in the back end, bro.